On a warm, calm Friday morning, Jason Day picked up right where he left off on Thursday afternoon, making birdies. This one on the 9th hole at Bay Hill Club and Lodge capped off his best career round to date at the Arnold Palmer Invitational and gave him a 5-shot lead at the time. Beautiful round of 65, but in the afternoon, a Swede stole the show. World number 7, Henrik Stenson, stormed to a round of 66, capped off by this birdie on the famous finishing hole to pull within 2 of Jason Day. Golf Central is on site at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, presented by MasterCard.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
It was another memorable day at Bay Hill Club and Lodge here in Orlando, home to several world-class PGA Tour players and, of course, tournament host Arnold Palmer, the king, kind enough to afford us this quality seat for the week. Golf Central's set is right in the middle of this grand practice facility and will be loaded with star power tomorrow when weekend play begins. And on that note, inclement weather is slated to move into the area on Saturday afternoon. So the PGA Tour has moved up tee times and Golf Channel has moved up its coverage. Our early round 3 broadcast begins at 9 a.m. locally, with Golf Central following immediately afterward. Coverage continues on NBC at 2:30 Eastern Time. Welcome to Bay Hill Club and Lodge. That storied clubhouse right behind us on our lovely perch set here, right behind the putting green. Kelly Tillman, Brandel Chambly, and our insider Tim Rosafort here with you all day today and through the weekend as well. 5 of the top 8 players in the world signed up for this golf tournament, and 3 of them are in the top 3 on the leaderboard as we speak. Jason Day leading the way, Brandel.
Short shot here. It'd be so easy to swing very short, try to accelerate. You do that, you introduce the leading edge, you're likely to hit it fat. Take a longer stroke and use the bounce. That's what he did there. That's why he made it look simple.
At 16, the par 5 on approach from 178.
Well, they say, Jack Grout said it most famously, that trajectory wins major championships. Jack Nicklaus took that thought to win 18. Jason Day putting it on example there. That's how you get to front pins with beautiful trajectory.
2-putt birdie. He's at 8 under and leads by 2 at 17. This one's going to disappear.
Most of the putts are missed on the low side for whatever reason. But downhill, it is much easier to get them going down the right side. You don't hit them that hard. Beautiful putt there at 17, and perfect out of the bunkers he was for the first 2 days. 4 for 4. Again, a long swing, rhythmic release. Use the bounce, and that is perfectly played and safe.
Birdies at 3, 5, 6. Here at 9 to cap off this round.
Just watch the way he finished that putting stroke. If you happen to have a DVR, go back and watch it. It wasn't a sudden acceleration. It was a gradual acceleration where he stuck the finish. Wasn't firing and falling back. That's how you get a better roll.
Jason Day targets his 8th PGA Tour victory and his 6th in a 1-year span. Henrik Stenson hasn't finished out of the top 8 here in his last 3 starts. He is 16 shots better than anyone who's played this course since 2012, a total of 47 under par. Justin Rose is hoping to record his 7th straight season with a win, behind only Dustin Johnson in that streak, who has 8 to date. But it's Day who has set the mark here, notching his 2nd best 36-hole score of his PGA Tour career. His best of 18 under par came at last year's BMW Championship in Chicago. He went on to win that one by 6 strokes. Twice he got it to 12 under through 36 and posted top 4 finishes on both occasions. If he can pull off a win this week, it would be his first in the state of Florida. Earlier today, right after that 65 was posted, he told Todd Lewis it wasn't as easy as it looked. He told him right here on our set.
It's definitely not effortless. It may look effortless, but I'm definitely grinding inside. Even though the scores show that I shot 13 under, I'm still trying to make sure that I'm deliberate on every pre-shot routine that I'm out there. And I think that was a missing part for me early on in the year, that that focus and that kind of killer instinct going into each shot like it's my last. I definitely lost that in the first part of the season. You can get easily kind of caught up in things and how the results are, especially early in the year, and everyone expecting you to do so well. And then everyone asking what's going on when you're not doing so well, and it's very easy to get caught up in that. So it can be very, very tough, because you want to get out and you want to play exactly how you were the second half of the season last year, and you kind of forced a few things, and it's tough because the expectation's so high, but then you've taken 3 months off, and expecting to come back as sharp as you were mid-season is very difficult to do, and everyone knows that. But you know, we're getting into a very big stretch here, so I didn't play that bad early in the year. I just had to make sure that I got through it.
Well, Jason Day has not had a ton of success on Bermuda grass in years past. What has changed for him this week, Brandel?
Well, I think he's missed it in some good spots, and the big part of the reason why he hasn't had a ton of success on Bermuda is his change of direction is pretty quick. Generally, his proximity to the holes, not the best part of his game. So he doesn't match up well with long irons coming out of the rough, and his chipping motion, albeit is beautiful, it's really designed, and it is sort of a one-way sort of to chip, and it's a shallow, wide way to chip, and it doesn't create a lot of angle in the backswing. And you're in Bermuda, you need a lot of angle and you need a lot of pop. Think about the way that Tiger Woods would innovate around here, using his hands, using his wrist. Jason Day doesn't necessarily do that. So it leads me to believe he's hitting a lot of bunkers, he's hitting a lot of good spots where he's had tight lies, not down in the gnarly stuff. And he's got this 36-hole lead, and the last 3 times he's had leads, BMW, the Barclays, Deutsche Bank, he handled them quite nicely.
Well, we didn't see this coming, but Jason Day did with those final 2 rounds at Doral, with the time he spent camped out at the Bears Club working on his game while the Florida Tour was going on for a couple of weeks. Going to see Tiger Woods, hanging out with Tiger, talking to him on the phone, sort of finding some things that maybe he didn't have going for him. But I think it said a lot about his psyche today that he would go out and produce this type of round. After not being critical of Jordan Spieth, but making some observations about a friend that he was concerned about him, some of the blowback that resulted from that. Instead of going and hiding and shooting 74, look at the back-to-back rounds in the 60s that he produced.
Well, Henrik Stenson gave some great chase this afternoon. He was trailing by 5 or more. Jason Day, I should say, was leading by 5 against the next closest chaser, and Henrik Stenson was a little further back than that, so he was doing his best to track him down. Here at 12, this was his second shot at the par 5. Tough spot.
Yeah, so much depends on the lie that you draw. I mean, you get a bad one, I mean, you're literally just chipping out. That one would have been marvelous, and that was a TV shot for sure. Found the green worth taking another look at. Look at that marvelous shoulder turn. And big boy, generates a lot of club head speed, hits down on it. That's one of the reasons he's more comfortable with a 3-wood off the tee than a driver.
At the par 3 14th, had this for birdie from 15 feet, and he gets to 9 under par. Maybe a little bit of a shaky start, but nonetheless, he put up the numbers he needed to, got that birdie. After birdie at 16, here at number 18 for another one.
It was generous fairway, he found it from 169 yards. He got it right in there just inside of 20 feet.
Round of 66 to finish at 11 under par and 2 back of Jason Day, and afterward he talked to Steve Burkowski.
Birdie at the last part of a back 931 and a Friday 66. You said after Thursday 67, solid but not quite where you were on Wednesday during the Pro-Am. How would you characterize your play here on the second round?
Pretty much the same. I still believe I was hitting the ball better on Wednesday, but I'm playing good golf at the moment in terms of keeping my patience, trying to be as decisive as I can over my shots, and you know, just scoring well. I'm taking my chances when I get them, make some good up and downs to save pars, and yeah, keep on rolling along.
What is your confidence like on a golf course that you play so well and already have 2 more rounds this year under your belt?
Yeah, I feel comfortable playing here. There's a lot of intimidating shots, and that's why you got to be clear on what you want to do and try and execute them well. And I managed to do that for many rounds here. But you know, you still got to come up with the goods. And 18 is one in particular. You know, it's an intimidating second shot, and you got to be on your numbers and hit solid shots. So we're going to try and do plenty more of the same, and hopefully I can fall into that Wednesday striking.
Henrik, great playing. We'll see you Saturday.
Thank you. Thanks.
All smiles right now. Henrik Stenson, his last worldwide win came in 2014 in Dubai. He has had a few runner-up finishes since then. The last 3 on the PGA Tour coming at the hands of top players, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, and Jason Day, who leads here. All notched the best seasons of their young careers last year, and Henrik Stenson pressed each one of them on 3 different occasions. Short of winning here at Bay Hill, he has been as consistent a presence on leaderboards as Tiger Woods has been over the course of time. But they play this course quite differently, don't they?
They certainly do. You know, he has finished second 5th, 8th the last 3 years. He lost to the round of the year or the week of the year to Matt Every last year. He didn't have another top 10 in greens and regulation the whole year. And in 2014, when Matt Every won here, it was the only week of the year, the entire year, that he was top 10s in greens and regulation. So while Matt Every was playing the golf of his life, Henrik Stenson was playing the golf that he plays every single day, and not particularly brilliant and not particularly bold where he needs to be bold. And in 2013, he obviously lost to Tiger Woods. He does give up a lot off of the tee. He's got all his club head speed. He knows his game better than we do. But to sit here and to see him with all that club head speed, not hit driver, and lose big numbers on these par fives to the biggest of players, I think keeps him from being brilliant. Keeps him from being a superstar. We see superstar potential in him, but very rarely do we see him hit driver, blow it past everybody, and finish the week at 14 under par on the par fives. Typically, he's 5 under par, 6 under par on the par fives, and that's very good, but that's not what the best are doing.
And you can't let other guys get in your head or rules officials get in your head. You're absolutely right. Matt Every did beat him last year, but he also beat himself to a certain extent. Remember, he was on the clock, questioned that, especially since it happened from the 15th hole on in, had 2-3 putts in his last couple of holes. So this was one, although he's got a tremendous record here, and he does have tremendous potential, and he's certainly not lost in all these millennials as far as physically and mentally. He did, to a certain extent, beat himself last year, as well as Matt Every beating him.
All right, back for more is Henrik Stenson in 2016. Much more ahead on Golf Central. We'll talk more about Adam Scott and Rory McIlroy. Scott went the wrong way today, but can he still pull off a rare 3 wins in 3 weeks? Rory McIlroy headed the right way today, but was it too little too late to make a run? Their stories are next.